Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Unlock Your Business's Potential and the Power of Software. Just want to say thank you to everyone that joined last week for our first session, and those that are joining for this session, welcome. We look into the importance of why kind of software is crucial in today's environment for running a business, whether that's running a workshop or you're selling e-commerce online, or general just day-to-day running of your bike shop. So last week was great. We talked about quite a lot of the pain points that face the industry, and then this week I'm going to be really diving into the inventory and service side to running a business and how software can really help you optimize your operations. So, thank you for coming back. As I said last week, there's a lot of stuff centered around the pain points within the industry, whether that is communication management with your customers, dealing with the seasonality trends that face our industry. Obviously, cyclists like to go out on their bike when it's nice and warm, which can lead to kind of dips over the colder periods. But there's ways that software can help with that. And that's what we kind of delved quite a lot into last week, as well as a few pain points that are around kind of just revenue tracking, stock management, which we will dive into more today, and a few other topics. A lot of interest generated, so thank you to those who are shouting about this series. It has been great, and we've got a few more episodes to come. These will all be coming up in the next few weeks. So, like I said, this episode is all about why inventory management is important. And it is important because you don't want to have too much stock, but at the same time, it's important to have a backlog. I know those in the US that have been dealing with tariff increases recently will have felt the pain points of not having stock and now having to order stock with tariffs added. So, there's obviously benefits to having stock in the workshop, but then there's also benefits to having quite a fluid movement of stock coming through your business. Obviously, it's crucial to be efficient, because efficiency leads to profitability, and you want to kind of minimize the lost sales due to stockouts. And you want to be able to optimize your workshop time by not really having to stress about stock. It's good to have a system in place that allows you to focus on the more finer points, which can be either customer management, dealing with your staff, and making sure everybody's working in an efficient manner, and also to enhance your customer satisfaction. You want to be able to offer kind of different options for different stock, and obviously be able to upsell if you can, because obviously the more premium products, they come with premium profit margins, and if you can maximize those, it can be really beneficial to your business. I'm also going to then look at how we can help. So we've got Bikebook, which can help on the front end, which is all about kind of that bringing new customers, being able to upsell to those customers. But then we've got Workshop, which is our back end, which has a full stock management system. And we're going to be looking into how that can really help you run your business, from kind of some of the key features that it has, but not just Workshop as well. Any system that you're using, they have features in place that can really help you manage your stock. And it's so imperative that you just make sure that you're maximizing those features, because they do have quite a lot of nifty tools that maybe you're unfamiliar with. But just as an example, today we're going to be looking at Workshop because we really have built some features that are quite handy. So the first one is all about having clear stock options for your mechanics to basically pick from when they're servicing bike. Now, they're your customers' bikes. So having stock available for the mechanics to pick from and then apply to a bike saves time. Now, if you can save time doing that, it means you can allocate more time elsewhere, whether that's actually spending more time on that bike or servicing more bikes. The more bikes that you can service, obviously, the more revenue, and that's good for business. It also allows good old stock to be used first. So if you have clear stock, a clear stock list, you can allocate different stock lists to be listed at different areas. So it's important to make sure that you have your older stock maybe coming through first, so that you don't have that backlog that I briefly touched on earlier. And you can kind of shift it off the shelf and get newer stock in. As everyone knows, a lot of the key suppliers and brands, they like to create new options, such as like Shimano and their Ultegra group sets. There's a new one coming out every year, and your customers will want them. So you don't want to be keeping hold of the old ones. You want to be able to shift the old ones as soon as you can. So when the brands release their new gear, you have basically the shelf space to have it, so that you can then shift it yourself. It's also important because it allows you to assign the correct stock to the correct bike. Within Workshop, we'll touch on it in a few slides' time. You can actually select the bike, and then it will assign the right stock to that bike. So again, important because you want to save time. You don't want to be filtering through manuals, looking at what stock will suit that bike. Obviously, experience in the workshop will help with that. But having that information nice and clear can be really, really useful. Also, many stock lists, including ours, will show you which supplier has that stock option available. So our stock list integrates with some key suppliers. So you've got QBP, JBI, and HLC all coming on very soon, if not already. So being able to see what supplier has what stock, if you don't have it in the workshop, is imperative, because it saves you having to sift through all of their different catalogues to see what stock they have available and the price, so that you can get the best price as well. So you can see which ones you can sell at the most profit. And yet, like I said earlier, you want to be able to push the stock that has the highest stock levels. So if you've maybe got 5 of one item and then 1 of another, obviously you want to start getting rid of those the stock with the 5, because you want to kind of keep it nice and level. So you're not just having stuff on the shelf becoming outdated, and then obviously losing revenue. A lot of stock systems will allow you to create stock options. So this means basically that when you click on an item, that it will then bring up options. So different sizes, different brands, different prices, and again, different stock levels. So having stock options is incredibly important, and it allows you to compare those sizes, so you can then basically assign the correct one to the correct bike. And it also allows you to make the most profit, obviously, because you can then choose which one has that bigger profit margin, as I touched on already. And also, I know in the US, the tariffs are coming in. So any items that are affected by tariffs, you may not want to use, or you may want to get off the stock, off your shelf. So again, being able to choose different options for each bike is imperative. Having clear and concise stock is so important, because it allows you to basically assign it to the correct bike. Having clear and concise information available to your mechanics when they're just trying to get their head into the bike is important, because it just saves time. And everything is all about being efficient within the workshop. It can get very busy. You can have multiple bikes all lined up against the wall. So being able to assign the correct stock to the correct bike, and not having to worry about what's going where, can basically really help you. And again, being able to see which ones are priced higher and lower allows you just to make the right decisions. So Workshop is really cool. So our system does have some really nifty features, because it's not just a stock manager, it's also a stock applicator. And this can really save a lot of time, again, improving that efficiency within the workshop. So we've built a job report card, which basically allows a mechanic to provide their customer with a report on their bike for each different component. And if a component's worn, they can mark the part as worn and then recommend stock. A mechanic can actually also recommend upgrades as well. So you can recommend different parts for the same component on that bike, allowing you to upsell and boosting those profit margins. And it also allows you to double check which stock has been added to each component. So if it's a handlebar and you're working maybe through like the handlebar section of the bike, or maybe like the headset or the brakes, you'll be able to apply the correct stock to that line item, and it's nice and clear and concise, because on that job report it will say kind of brakes, and then you'll be able to see which part's been added, so you know you're not duplicating parts, and then getting them added onto the invoice. So then the customer has a clear invoice, they know what they're paying, and they know what's included. And whenever a part's added to the job report card, it then gets added to the invoice tab. So the invoices are automatically populated as stocks added to the job report card, which is nice and easy for the mechanic. It doesn't mean you have to create multiple different invoices. So it's nice and efficient, because again, efficiency is king. So being able to make sure everything flows through the workshop nice and clearly, your customers understand what they're paying, makes it nice and easy. And also getting authorization for those parts is super quick and easy. So as you can see in the middle there, there's that kind of orange authorized parts. What that does is when you click that authorized parts, it will ping off a text message to the customer, and they'll then get a message basically saying, Bill from Bill's Bikes, or so on, has sent you a text message with parts that are recommended for your bike. Here's your job report card, plus any photos and images and videos, and then basically the customer can then just click on the link, authorize those parts. The mechanic gets a notification in their app, on the workshop system, and it is nice and seamless. Saves having to pick up the phone, again saving time, boosting that efficiency with the mechanic and the customer. When you click on the add parts section on the job report cards, what it does is it brings up your stock list, and you can filter this based on your in-house stock as well as stock from suppliers. So this basically allows you to pick those parts that you may have on the shelf first, and then if you don't have it on the shelf, you can then still add it from one of the suppliers, and then you can create purchase orders by clicking the add to cart as well. And this makes it nice and easy, because it saves you having to then go through those catalogs, looking at which parts are available, looking at their prices, and having to work it all out. It's nice and clear and concise, all within one system. And again, saves so much time when you're just trying to focus on servicing bikes. Because you can create those purchase orders, put them into one of the suppliers, and then they will then basically just ship it to you once you confirm the payment with the supplier. And again, mentioned it earlier, there is an upgrade button. You can't see it on this image here, but if you were to move the slider along at the bottom, there is an upgrade part that allows you to add one stock item from the main stock list, and you can click upgrades, and it will just bring up the same stock list again, allowing you to add numerous parts to one line item, creating those upsell opportunities. This is an example of our purchase order in here. So here you can basically see a list of the parts that need to be ordered based on the work that you have done. So when a stock list is open in front of you, and if you don't have it in your on your shelf or in your workshop, you can click that add to cart. It will then get added to this purchase order. This purchase order is available via the little cart in the top right hand corner of workshop, which you can just see at the top right there. And this basically allows you to see what you need to order. And this is super useful because if you have numerous mechanics in your workshop working on numerous bikes, and they know from your stock list that you don't have it in stock, and then at the end of the day, whoever the manager is, or whoever is the decision maker for when purchase orders need to be created, or if you do allow your mechanics to create purchase orders, that's fine, but it allows you to basically to review what stock you need to order, and it'll allow you to track what has been ordered and what hasn't, and at what kind of phase the order is at. So yeah, super handy, saves so much time, and it just makes it really easy for whoever the decision maker is, because then they can just basically export this purchase order, put it into a supplier, and it just makes the whole journey so seamless for ordering parts and stock. And again, you can then, once a part has arrived, you can go to the order sheet and manage the item, and basically click that it's arrived, and you can then add it to your stock take, or remove it from needs ordering, because obviously you've got it there. And again, super handy if there's numerous mechanics in the workshop. Touched on it earlier. We've got a lot of key suppliers coming on board. Currently, got HLC and JBI just in initial conversations with QBP. So we're hoping to have them on there soon. And this is super cool because basically it just allows you to view all of their stock without having to exit workshop. Makes it nice and easy to create those purchase orders for stock that you don't have available. So, key takeaways from today. Nice short one today. So, stock can get very messy. It's important to track what you have, and please do try always offload older parts because, as you know, brands love to create new items of stock and parts to try upsell. So, it's important to not have that backlog. Make life easy for your mechanics by providing clear and concise stock options. Make the ordering technique super easy and always make sure that the stock's applied to the invoices. Using Workshop makes that super easy because whenever you add a stock to a job sheet, it just gets added to the invoice automatically and then it's available for use. And always try upsell whenever you can. The more expensive parts come with better profit margins the majority of the time. So whenever you can, always try upsell parts and try upsell numerous parts if you can. So it's all about creating that revenue and having a system in place that allows you to do that is imperative. As always, software equals efficiency, better experiences for your customers, and smarter decision making. And it just basically generally improves that kind of workshop operation all round. And as always, as mentioned last week, take a second, think what's one process in your shop that software could really improve. And I really think that if you don't have a stock, an efficient stock taker, a manager available, do reach out to us at Workshop. We would love to chat to you and really show you how our system can help. So next week, we're going to be talking about customer connections and how basically creating those loyalty schemes can really help you drive sales. So there's got a lot of useful information coming about how at Bikebook we can connect you with cyclists and again how Workshop has some really cool features to really boost that customer communication element to running a business. So all about customer experience and driving those sales and that workshop operation. Thanks for your time. Look forward to speaking again next week and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.